Welcome to the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchie's Builders, live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia as the TRL celebrates 100 years. And now, he is your host from the Obie and Cookie Call on Power FM, Andrew O'Brien, aka Obie.
Well, welcome to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, sponsored by Hutchison Builders, and we're here at the wonderful Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV, and also sponsored by Power FM. Now, I've got a couple of scallywags here on the panel with me, and joining you've been elevated, Mr. Justin Murphy. How are you, Murph?
Yeah, it feels good in this seat, a bit closer, doesn't it?
It does, and then becoming a little bit of a regular, he makes me look really good. Gary Lawrence, the super coach himself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Obie. And you do make me look better.
That's right. And then over to our first debutante on the footy show from the Mustangs, Brendan Wilson. How are you, Brendan?
Yeah, good, thanks, Obie.
Thanks so much for coming. But look, let's first get into it, and we'll talk about a wonderful state of origin, a game for the ages last night, and our own Ethan Lowe had an absolute whale of a game, Justin, and I think he's played enough, well enough to be a permanent fixture there for a few years to go.
Yeah, he looked right at home there, and he was one of the better performers as well. He definitely showed why he's in the team, and I think he should stay up there too for next year. He's earned those points, and it's good to see a local from Gundy. He went to school at St Mary's, finished school at St Mary's in Toowoomba, and then also played for Valleys as well. So it's good to see those kids come through and play at the highest level.
And what I liked about Ethan, Gary, was that the stats actually told the story, didn't they?
They told the story and told much more too. You know, 52 tackles, involved in a lot of hit-ups, a lot of heavy yards. He had no respect for his body, and then had time to sit there and take a bit of time and kick a couple of goals that were very important. Those kicks were sensational. And
it was a game of momentum swings, Brendan. Here we are, 12 points down, 10 minutes to go. Never doubt a Queenslander, is that right?
No, I certainly don't, no. And getting back to young Ethan Lowe, the effort was there, certainly with that charge down. Without that charge down, we don't get back into the game. So that's what Origin's about, and he's an Origin player.
Yeah, just out of fence a little bit at times, but look, it's a game of inches for State of Origin, and also a special yell out to Corey Pax, who was captain of the Queensland under-20 side. Congratulations to you, Corey, and I think you're going to make your debut for Broncos this week, so we'll see how it's another milestone for you guys. Brendan, you would have had Corey under your wing in the Mustangs roster?
Yeah, no, we had him under the Mustangs. I've had Corey for a few years at South Juniors as well, so he's a great kid, great attitude, so I think unfortunately come off injured last night, Obie, so I'm not too sure how if he'll get that this weekend or not. So.
All right, and yeah, very good with Paxi in the mix at the moment.
It is. He's been in that system for a while at the Broncos, so he's going to get a shot sooner or later, and he deserves it as well. And he's got a few brothers, I think, still playing in Toowoomba as well.
Yeah, yep. So he's got young Brado still playing too. So yeah, he's a good kid.
And yeah, Corey Pax, mate, it's good to see these young fellas coming through from Toowoomba. Ethan Lowe, Corey Pax, just to name a few.
Yeah, look, it is, and it's great to see. We saw them down at Warwick a couple of months ago when they played South Logan Magpies in a baby Bronco game. We saw us and Fegler and those sort of guys, and Pax was doing a great job down there, on and off the field. He does a great job.
And Brendan, I was going to ask you, Mustang's been going for a while now. Pax is probably one of the first to go through as far as being pushing for an A-grade spot in the NRL. Who else that come to mind?
He's in that age group that's coming through, so there's been a few that have got contracted that are coming through, but you know, we've got young Luke Maiden's been signed by the Titans. Jakey Simpkins just been picked up by West Tigers for next year as well. Great. So he signed a 3-year deal with West Tigers, so he'll be pushing the next couple of years. But yeah, Pakey's the first one that's come through with that age group there.
Well, I had the pleasure of calling the Mustangs game against North Devils, and what a ripper of a game it was. Mustangs, they got in front by 26 points to nil after leading 12-0 at half-time, and they just lasted, and they won the game by 26 points to 22. Great effort by your boys, Brendan.
Yeah, no, they certainly did well. They got away to an early lead, let North back in towards the end of the game, but held on and come away with the 2 points, much needed 2 points to give them some confidence with the remaining games.
And yeah, Murph, I've been really happy with Mustangs because, you know, in the last couple of seasons they've sort of just I don't like to say that they'd be making up the numbers, they weren't, but this year they had a really good off-season and it's showing late in the season.
Yeah, definitely. North's won the Compy under 20s last year too, so that is a really good win for them, and North's have got a good system there, and for the Mustangs to get up and win and have a good game like that at home, I think it's really good for the guys there, and it'll give them a bit more confidence to finish the season as well.
Yeah.
And it's been great having Reeds on the panel, Gary, just getting that involvement with Mustangs. We can't be everywhere, can we? But they are part of the Toowoomba Rugby League fabric.
They are, and they do a great job out there with the 18s and the 20s, and they've got to have a career path, and there's all options for them here. And it's good to see that they're starting to get some wins at the back end of the season, which helps for next year.
And Brendan, I did like your Nelliman, your fullback, Benji Nelliman. He scored 2 tries. Richard Murray was very good, as was Austin Jennings, and they all knew their role in the actual team.
Yeah, no, they've worked really hard on it, particularly the last 3 or 4 weeks. You always put an emphasis on, knowing your role and competing really hard. So yeah.
And I thought your kicking game, especially with Sam Thompson and Laurie Jacobson, when Norse was starting to get a bit of a roll, the kicking game was very, very common sense.
Yeah, no, they're very smart. Both halves are smart. Laurie's a cheeky little bugger, so he's a typical halfback. So and Sam controls the game really well from 5'8", so they're going well.
And those 2 bookings, Murph, Blake Cullen and Jackson Milovic, are certainly very good.
Yeah, good young players. Richard Murray, I've had a little bit to do with him, and I was just talking to Willow. He certainly doesn't lack in confidence. I think he's done a few interviews with you before as well. So.
Yeah, he sure has. And look, I just thought it was fantastic. It was a great atmosphere, and I saw a young side very committed to the cause, and it was just great to see.
It is great to see, and we need to have these boys showcased throughout the state, and it's a great opportunity for them, and they probably just don't realise how privileged or how lucky they are to have that type of competition for them, because 10 years ago it wasn't around for them, and they had to come through the clubs and the grades and then go away, and people like Justin, they go away, and it's very hard for them.
These guys could be having opportunities in the future, and you never know what it could be. It could be a good game against North on the weekend that opens the doors for these guys. And like Ethan Lowe, he's had a few doors open, and one of these boys hopefully can have the same opportunities as that as well.
Yeah, well, they play Sunshine Coast Falcons, which I think are on top of the ladder, aren't they, Brendan?
They're not top. They're in the top 4, but I know they've got the top 4 coming up in the next 4 weeks.
And
next
that's
4 games.
20 minutes to 1 on Saturday at the wonderful Sunshine Coast Stadium. So get up there and have a weekend away and watch some footy while you're there. It should be fantastic. On to the Phillies, and the Division 1 had a bye last week, and they play South Slogans, hopefully a Steph Hancock led South Slogans, 4 o'clock on Saturday at Herbstein Art Oval. The Division 2, they've got the bye this week, and they had a win against Ormo, 34 points to 12. So they're getting their act together there. So that's the opening of the show. I know Queensland lost the series, but they were very, very good, and once a Queenslander, always a Queenslander, Murph.
Yeah, definitely. It was a proud performance still last night. They put the effort in there, so it was all good.
So whilst we're on the Mustangs, and as we go to the break, let's look at the Mustangs war cry, which is an absolute ripper in their wonderful win on the weekend. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
Coming up after the break, Obi and the panel will review round 13 of the Toowoomba Rugby League. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchie's Builders. We're live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia.
Hutchie's lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Lifelight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchies is proud to back the people who support the region.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
Jamming as much variety into your day as possible.
powerfmradio.com.au.
G'day, Kev Walters here, coach of the Mighty Maroons and brand ambassador for Toowoomba Kia. Did you know that every new Kia, including my Stinger, comes with a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty? 7 straight years. Ha! That's equal to 21 Origin matches worth of warranty. But you don't just get the best warranty in the business, these guys are all about making winning deals for Queenslanders like you. So come down and see the team here at Toowoomba Kia, Toowoomba's new home of Australia's best 7-year warranty.
Queenslander!
Not bad.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Toowoomba Rugby League footy show. Nothing like a really good war cry, but let's get stuck right into it. And round 13 summary. Wattles returned to the top of the TRL ladder after beating Highfields 44 points to 6 on Saturday night, whilst Gunda-Windy Spears, David Armstrong, scored 7 tries in their win over Oakey. Warwick leapfrogged Dolby to sit outright third after beating the Diehards 26 points to 18. In a seesawing affair in Warwick, and Gatton South kept their final hopes alive with good wins over Pittsworth, 26 points to 18, and Brothers South beat them 16 points to 6. Let's get to the Gatton game straight away. It was a ripper of a game, this one. It was Pittsburgh's strongest side of the year. They had Daniel York back. Bruno Brosden was there. They all played well. It was Dylan Jennings. He had 3 tries to really get get Gatton across the line, he was fantastic. And of course, his opposite number, Jordan O'Shea, scored a double and kept Pittsworth in the game. Dylan Young, and a shout out to young Dylan Flanagan, who I know, Brendan, he's been in the Mustangs there. He looked not out of place in the Gatton A-grade side.
Yeah, no, Dylan's a good player. He played a few games for us at the Mustangs 18s in the Melbourne Eagle this year for me, and he ended up going back early to Gatton. Just I had him playing fullback, and I think halves his spot definitely. So
that's right. And Murph. These two sides have shown a bit of consistency lately. It was good to see Pittsworth play better away.
Yeah, definitely. It's always hard going to Gatton to play, and Pittsworth going down there and competing, it is good. Gatton have got a good side on paper, so getting a win at home. Jennings is a really good player too, and he proved that for the Clydesdales this year as well, and I think he'll just get better as well.
Yeah, and Gary, I like the character of Gatton. They were behind 18-14 and come back with 2 tries off the boot of Lip to Jackwitz and Jennings. So, in recent games over the season, they've let those games go, haven't they?
They have, and it's probably for the first time this season I've seen them actually kick to a corner or put some height in any ball. They've tried running it or poor kick options, and they resolved in tries from. They did look good, and but Pittsworth, they showed a lot of character, but they've lost probably 8 or 10 players from last year, and they've done a pretty good job to keep consistency in that team all year.
Well, as we said, Daniel Jennings, he got the Marangadan Pub Player of the Match. Jordan O'Shea got 2 points. Hayden Lip got 1 point for the Webke Prize Medal points for 2019. Reserve grade, it was Gatton 30 defeated Pittsworth 6. In under-18s, Gatton really put their stamp on the under-18 competition. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going, winning 42 points to 6, and an upset, I believe an upset. South Burnett 18 defeated Valleys 12, which says something about the under-18 competition, don't you reckon, Murph?
Yeah, the under-18s competition is pretty even this year. I think Souths have been the standout for a while. They lost the President's Cup a couple of weeks ago, but they've been a standout for a couple of years. But there's some other teams like South Burnett, Gatton that are improving all the time too. So.
And Brendan, you keep an eye on the under-18s. How many South Burnett boys come over the last few years?
We had 3
Simpson,
come across this year.
Yep.
Yeah. So we had probably Jackson come across. He's playing 20s this year, so he come across and played with us last year in the 18s. So there's some good talent out there for sure.
Selwyn Cobbo, is he in that 18 side?
He's 16s, I think.
16s,
yeah, I think he's still 16s.
He's a good player.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of ability and just natural ability out there too, I think. So it's something we need to tap into.
And in second division, Texas had I think a rare win, 26 points to 18 against Stanthorpe on the weekend. And South 16 defeated Brothers 6. It was a grinding win by South. It was 6 all at half time. And if you had a look at some of the footage of it, that Mitch Beatros try was an absolute ripper. I reckon it was the best individual try of the year. What do you reckon?
For a front rower, it's going to get better as the story will get better as his years get older as well. But it was a really good try for a front rower.
Well, it was about 30 or 40 metres, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, and his evasion and to take on the fullback and beat him too.
Well, I'm sure after a few beers after that win, it would have been about 80 metres.
His dad probably scored a few like that, but they didn't have him on footage probably back then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, look, they played very well, the Brothers side, but they've got a good forward pack. But South, how good are they going at the present time? And, they control the middle of the ruck, and their outside backs can do the rest. And they've got a baby side there, they talk about a baby Bronco, but the South side's doing a great job at the present time.
Yeah, so it's a very important match as far as just watching those two sides develop. There was a few ifs and buts with Brothers having injuries, etc., but the 6 points for Brothers really sort of impressed me as far as South's defence is concerned. Webke Prize medals, Jordan Lip got 3 points, Mitch Beatros got 2, Jacob Whittaker continued his stellar season with 1 point there. Reserve grade 38-0, Brothers over South. Under 18, 58 points to 18, South over Brothers 4. And over at Cools Road, it was really cool at Cools Road on Saturday night. 44 points to 6, 4 tries to Andrew Richardson at the moment. Good stuff, and a convincing win by the now top of the ladder leaders.
Yeah, it is. Waddles, they've come out after President's Cup and had a good convincing win, and I think their defence in that game is something they'll be very pleased of, because Highfields do have a good side as well, and Jared Lee gets them around, and they've got a fair bit of attack in them, so to keep them to 6 points, I think Waddles will be really happy with that.
Yeah, and Brendan, these games between Waddles and Highfields, you've kept an eye on because you have had a lot of roster in Highfields, but I think that's really surprises me. Highfields been a lot more competitive this year, haven't they?
Yeah, Highfields. I would have thought they'd been higher up the ladder this year for sure in the A grade. I'm not sure what's gone on out there this year. Might be a few injuries, I think. So, and they've got some good young kids coming through as well. So.
We saw the week before, Gary, when Waddles played Warwick, they have really lifted their intensity, and for the second week in a row, only let 6 points in, especially with their defence. And I think they're led by Dale Perkins, who got the 3 points. Michael Pearson got 1 point, and Jared Lee got 2 points for Highfields.
Yeah, look, their defence has been very good, their line defence, but their speed off the line in defence has been very good, and it's been improving. But I think it goes back to the control of the kick to the corners, make them come out, belt them every time they get a chance, and make them work hard to come out of their own end.
Yeah, so congratulations to Waddles. Their defence has been just second to none, really.
Yeah, they had to from the President's Cup too. They let a few points in there, so they've got the win there, but obviously letting those points in, if they're going to beat Valleys in the finals, they'll have to concentrate on their defence.
We'll see how they go. Reserve grade, an upset there, Gary. Highfields 26-6 against Waddles, who were in the Mats and Rasmussen final.
Yeah, they've got a great side, Waddles, but Highfields on the day, and that's what it's all about, on the day, who's committed the most, and obviously in reserve grade it can fluctuate. There were a couple of players go up to first grade, so great effort for Highfields, I think, 26-6.
Yeah, well, one thing we've always known, Murph, is Highfields have always had good depth, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they're pushing for semis in reserve grade, so that's probably they've got to win a few games too, but to get a good win like that against Waddles, who are one of the better sides there, it is good effort by them.
Yeah, and I don't think there was too many A-graders sacrificed to go back to reserve grade, so congratulations to the Eagles in reserve grade. In under 18s, Highfields are in the mix for the finals there, 48 points to 14 over Waddles. And over to Gundawindi at Gilbert's Park Oval. Their big score, 90 points to 10. Gundy over Oakey. 4 tries in the first half, 3 tries in the second half for David Armstrong. And he's just short of Rob Reeves and Mickey McGrady's 8 try haul over the 90s and 2000s. And just by the way, Mickey McGrady was there to witness the 7 try haul from Armstrong, Murph.
Oh, that's good. He's a good young kid, isn't he? And he's been exciting to watch in our comp this year since he's been back at Gundy, and he's still only 18, so he's got if he wants to, he's got plenty of opportunities and a bigger future ahead of him as well.
And Brendan, you would have seen David Armstrong when Mustangs played Redcliffe, because you're playing there, is that right?
We didn't play Redcliffe, but David was part of the Mustangs team at the start of the year, but then took an opportunity to go down and play with the Melbourne Eagles with Redcliffe in December. I think he moved down there after school finished, so he went down there and took his opportunities down there. So he's a really good young player.
And I think, Gary, that is actually the X factor for this competition. And look, you throw in David McGrady, mate, and those two together, we've seen them both just can turn a game on its ear.
Yeah, look, they can turn a game on their ear. And for Gundy to be the X factor in that 4-5 position, they're going to have the forwards lift and work hard for these people to do the scoring the tries.
And Webke Price medal points all going to the Gundawindi Boars. Armstrong, Jarrett and Tribe getting that 3, 2 and 1. Reserve grade 72-0 to Gundawindi, and Gundawindi also getting the biscuits at under 18s, 36 points to 4. And then the Hutchies match of the round, an absorbing match where the lead changed a number of times. Harry Sullivan's rundown of blades, and then Danny Wassell's try attempt was just inches short. It was a real turning point, wasn't it, Gary Lawrence?
It was indeed, and a bit like we were talking about here earlier, you know, the rundown by Harry Sullivan there, Potter, you know, it'll go from 10-15 metres to about 30 or 40 metres where he's ran Corey Blades down. You know, to stop Corey Blades like he did, that was a turning point of the game at that stage.
He's impressed me, Harry, this year, playing on out of position, not his favourite position, and he's just turned up and done a job.
Well, you know, you want players like that in your team that will play for the team and do what they need to do. And obviously, they are struggling down there with players, with numbers, with the 6s and 7s. You know, we've got players down injured there, and 3 or 4 of their players, whether they be 6 or 7, have been out injured. So it's great to see.
Well, at half time it was 6 points to 10 points to 6 at the time of that turning point. It was 6-all, and they looked like scoring Dalby, but then Warwick scored at the other end, didn't they? And then it was 16-6 Bromhill. In the first minute of the second half, he got on a loose ball and raced away to score, then tries to Manly and Mara to get the diehards in front by 18 points to 16 until Joey Fuimona, he scored on one leg, so he told me after it there, to clinch the match. And great game.
Yeah, definitely. Two good teams that are up there. I think they're probably just behind Waddles and Valleys at the moment, both those sides, but they're going to have to improve and hopefully get troops back to go further on during the season in the finals.
And Brendan, it's interesting to get your thoughts on those two teams as far as the context in the season's concerned. You've been keeping an eye on it?
Yeah, I have been keeping an eye on the local comp for sure. Wouldn't surprise me with Dalby. I know Derek's a great coach. I've done a bit of coaching with him before, so he'll have him up there on the whips cracking at the end of the year, for sure. So.
And look, I do believe with Harry Sullivan, I saw enough. He's got the X factor. Yes, he can make the odd mistake, but I think he is going to be fantastic after Cantrell's loss, right? Marshall's injury, Gary. I thought Brad Morris's kicking game was what they needed after the previous week against Waddles, don't you reckon?
Yeah, Brad Morris was the steadying influence there. I think what I was so excited about that game was the Dalby player, number 6, or he played 5'8", Josh Chappell.
Yep.
He's very exciting. I'm really impressed. I haven't probably been excited about a 6 or a 7 for some time like this, so young. And he can step and he'll steady the ship. He can do whatever, and I'd be very excited to have him in my side. And I think if Dalby can keep him on the park, and they'll do very well with him this year.
He's 18, is he?
Yeah, he played for the Mustangs this year. He hurt his Achilles with 2 games to go for us, so he was one of our better players here in the Mustangs directing us around and just going.
I know Eugene's got a big rap on him as well.
He's a really good player. I think at the end of the year he's heading down to Parramatta. He's contracted.
Yes, he is contracted there, and after playing with his father the week before, I mean, it's all good stuff for the Chappell family, and we'll talk about him later on in the show. Mickey Bloomfield had an amazing game. I think his calmness of the players that probably took wrong options got him across the line as far as the Hutchie's player of the round was concerned, and he just really calmed the team down. They were down 18 points to 16, weren't they, Gary? And it looked like Dalby were really getting the roll, but he was very, very important of going down that left side with Fuimana.
Yeah, he was. Mick is a very good player. He's a competitive player. It's his nature. He loves winning, and he is a stabling influence in that side. Jared Bradfield is a workaholic. Xavier Manley was a standout as well. I thought he got a great roll on a couple of times there and did some great jobs.
Yeah, Craig Don was very good at fullback, but all in all, look, a bit scrappy, but still sometimes it can be scrappy because of the defence, can't it, Justin?
Yeah, definitely. Both teams, they had a bit to play for as well, I think.
They did, outright third. Yeah. They sure did. Anyway, Mickey got the 3 points, of course. He got the league group electrical player of the match as well as the Hutchies player of the round. Blake Mara, I thought, was absolutely fantastic, and Dylan Taylor is out this week, and I think he'll be slotted in there, and he'll be a really good Stedling influence on Joshy Chappell. In reserve grade, it was Dalby 35 to Warwick 18. Important under 18 match. Dalby, an away win, only winning by the solitary 2 points. 18 points to 16. On to the points table. Let's have a look at it. After round 13, Waddles get leapfrog Valleys because they had a bye last week. They're on 20. Valleys on 19. Warwick on 16. Dalby on 15. Gundawindi on 14. South on 12. Gatton on 10. Brothers still mathematically can make the 5, but you would think it'd be hard for them. Oakey, Pittsworth 6, and Highfields 4, Murph.
Definitely, it's showed the comp. It's pretty even this year. A couple of sides have slackened off a little bit. I think Oakey have slackened off a little bit from when they started, but Pittsworth and Highfields are still competing, and shows you that it's a good comp when they've got Gatton, South, Gundy, Dalby. If a couple of them drop a few, that's going to be close to make the finals.
Well, instead of the bottle bar blast from the past, we're going to have an in-depth look at the games remaining for all the teams that are in the mix come finals. In reserve grade, the ladder there, Valley's on 19, Wattles and Gatton on 18, Gundawindi on 17, and Dalby make up the 5 on 14, and then Highfields and Warwick on 13, South are on 8, Brothers 6, Pittsworth 4, and Oakey yet to open up their account. Under 18s, looks like South are going a long way, right, to bottling up the minor premiership, because they are, 2.5 games? Actually, that's 3.5 games ahead of Dalby, who are the Matson Rasmussen trophy winners. They're on 17. South Burnett, they jumped up to third outright. They're on 16. Highfield's on 15, as are Valley's. Gundawindi surging, they're on 14. Pittsworth on 12, important game they've got against Brothers this weekend. And then we've got Warwick, Wattles, Brothers and Oakey.
Yeah, look, it's all looking good for the under 18s comp is a great comp, and I get excited every time I get down there to watch those young men play, and they're big too, and they're fast, and they can do everything.
Armstrong might have to play a few 18s games for Gundy to get them up in there, and he can play both.
Yeah, well, Brendan, Armstrong's eligible, as is Chappell and as is Flanagan, so I
Jordan
think,
Lipp as well.
And Jordan Lipp as well, but I was going to say, Brendan, this is probably the most competitive under 18 competition we've had, because that was an outstanding South side last year.
Oh, it certainly was. They're a good side. They didn't sort of come together till the finals, and I think it showed when we hit the finals, or when they hit the finals last year, how good of a side they are. The side this year is probably just as good, but the standard of competition's come up across the board dramatically, so it's really good to see.
Only the one game in second division on the weekend. You can see that ladder there. Newtown's still on top from Gat and Gundy. Texas are now equal fourth with Stanthorpe. So as we go to the break, let's have a look at an interview from the Maranganan Pub player of the match, Daniel Jennings. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show. Andrew O'Brien for QRL TRL Media, and it's fitting that we're in front of the can bar here with our Maranganan Pub, right, player of the match, Daniel Jennings. Tough game. I think both sides really did think that it was going to be a tough game, and it turned out that way, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. We said at the fan, well, it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be full on. It's always hard like that. Pittsburgh always give their all, so we're in for a big one. And at the start, they proved that at the start. We were just backpedaling. They had their roll on. We just had no momentum. So got in the grind, came back, and yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You got in the grind, and with sort of 10 minutes to go, they really got back into the game. In fact, they led 18 points to 14, and that little kick, I think they should put the ball up more for guys like you and Billy Jackwitz.
Yeah, well, at the end there when Lippy started putting them across, put Pittsburgh under so much pressure. They had no idea what to do. They were jumping, and it's always a 50-50 chance in the air like that. So, I don't know why we didn't do it from the start. That was just good.
Anyway, you're still keeping the candle going, Daniel. You never know what might happen the next few weeks.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we go to South next week and keep that momentum going. And after a good win like this, we just keep it going.
All right, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
Good on you, mate.
Coming up next, Obi and the panel will look at the race for the semi-finals. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchie's Builders, live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time, with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
If you've lost your income or had a change of earning capacity through no fault of your own and are struggling with debt that you can no longer handle, you probably feel a bit like this ant. If the struggle is getting you down and you feel overwhelmed, there is an answer. Central Liaison has helped thousands of people break free of the debt struggle by handling their debt for them. Freeze all interest, stop the harassing calls from the bank and start enjoying life again. Call them today on 0409 344 070 for a confidential, obligation-free chat about how Central Liaison can help you take your life back. The number again, 0409 344 070. Call them now.
On Power TV Australia, we take a frank look at computers, the internet and social media with a team of experts from around the world with Switched On IT. Learn what makes the internet tick and how to keep your kids safe online. Discover a whole new world of entertainment at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store.
Celebrate 100 years of rugby league in Toowoomba with the TRL's exclusive radio and TV call team. Join Obi, Cookie, Nev, George and Kelvin every Saturday from 5:30pm for the Toowoomba Sports Club Match of the Day, live on powerfmradio.com.au/special events. On Sunday, the team's back with the Power FM Hutchies Match of the Round from 1:30pm on Power FM 88 Toowoomba and online at powerfmradio.com.au/special events. You can now watch the game of the week with all the action, including instant replays of every try at 8 o'clock Sunday night on Power TV Australia. Take the footy with you wherever you go by downloading the Power TV Australia app for both Power FM and Power TV Australia. Welcome back to the TRL Footy Show, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. Here's Obi in the panel.
Yeah, welcome back to the TRL Footy Show, sponsored by Hutchins Builders on Power TV and also sponsored by Power FM. G'day to Robbo and the guys over at Power FM. Well, there are 5 rounds remaining with Valleys the only side who do not have a bye with 5 rounds remaining. The top 2 seem set, and by the look of the remaining games, you would think that Warwick and Dalby are safe. So there is a race for the last spot. Some great games coming up in the final rounds. Key matches is really this game, Dalby versus Valleys this weekend, and the round 17 clash, Wattles versus Valleys at Clifton, may just decide the minor premiership. All of the top 4 sides have winnable games, whereas teams below them really have some tough draws. Now keep in mind that Valleys are the only team playing all of the last 5 rounds, which means that they are the only club of a prospect of getting the full 10 points, whereas everyone else, they have only the opportunity to grab 8 premiership winning points. And this wonderful season continues, Murph.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be a tight run to the finish for some teams, but it'll be very good to watch. We seeing the teams if they can step up another level as well.
Gary.
Yeah, look, I think Murph's right on the money there. It will be Wattles, Valleys at the end of the day. They are streaks ahead of everyone else. And with the runs other sides have got in there, they've got to rely on too many winning games, and not too many sides come from 5th spot to win the competition.
Yeah, you seem very, very firm about that Wattles Valley stuff, Supercoach. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Now let's have a look at the games that are left for the aspirants for the finals here. With Wattles, now you can see they've got South away, then they have a bye, Pittsworth away, Valleys at home, and Gundawindi away there, Murph. I think the big games there for them. Well, it's going to be tough this weekend. I know we'll talk about that later, but the Valleys game at home in 3 weeks' time is going to be a ripper for Wattles.
Definitely, that'll be a big game at home for Wattles, and I think especially after the closeness of the game a couple of weeks ago as well, and then the history of the clubs from last year as well. So.
And Brendan, they play Valleys and then they play Gundawindi away, so they'll be pretty bashed up from Valleys. So it'll be interesting for Wattles, but I think they can do it.
Yeah, they're a great side with Matty Duggan there at halfback guiding them around. But Gundawindi's always a tough road trip out there, particularly the last game of the year, and they might be playing for a semi-final spot as well. So it'll be a tough gig to get out.
It'll be interesting if Wattles lose to Valleys and then they finish second, and then they're going to have a week. They don't get a week off.
Yeah, that's right.
So they might take it easier against Gundy. You never know then.
Well, you know. What do you reckon, Supercoach?
Yeah, look, all those things can
I want to ask you, mate. They'll win every game, including the bye, you reckon?
Look, I think it depends what happens. Whether they play everyone this week against South, I don't know whether they'll all play this week against South. They're carrying a few injuries. and they may need a rest this week and the bye.
But I don't think they're going to rest for the sake of resting them.
No, they've got injuries.
Yeah, they have, with Ryan Duggins, I know, out. I think
Matty's ankle isn't that flat.
Yeah, we'll see how we go from there. Well, let's look at Valley's run into the finals. Big game this week at Dalby for the Valley side. I know Callum Hart is certainly out. The rest seem to be fairly fit there. They've just got plenty of depth when it comes. And you can see they play South away, Oakey at home, Wattles we've already spoken about, and then Gatton at home. So, yeah, look, they've got a run and a half, haven't they, Murph?
Yeah, I think Dalby and South, they'll both be teams that are desperate for wins around that time as well. So Dalby this weekend, they'll be desperate to get a win, and if Dalby lose this weekend, then they could be under a bit of pressure, similar to South as well.
Yeah, some depth there, Brendan, for Valleys.
Depth for Valleys?
Depth they have,
they have a lot of depth there. So, I think they'll be right up there as well. But Dalby, hopefully they can get a win over Dalby there and keep pushing their way up towards that top spot.
Yeah, going to be a few changes there. Gary, Jerome Burns there as well. They've lost Callum Hart. A bit of disruption there, but they know how to win, don't they?
They do, and they can win ugly as well, and they know how to do that. And that's what the good sides have to be able to do, win ugly and know how to win when they've got players out, people just jumping in and playing. But Burns was a great player.
Exactly right. Well, look, you can see with Warwick, with their run home, they play Oakey away this week at Oakey. You think they take care of them. Incidentally, if Valleys lose to Dalby, Warwick will be 1 point behind Valleys. And look, South's an outside chance to beat Wattles, so Warwick could be in the mix come Sunday night. And Warwick play Oakey, then they play Gundawindi away. They have a bye. Gatton at home and Brothers, so a bit easier run there for them.
Yeah, I think Warwick should get all the points in that run home for them. It'll be good. There's a couple of Gundy will be tough away and Gatton will be tough, I think, but I think that they should get all their points if they're going to be pushing for further honours.
And one thing I know that Warwick probably have is that all the other sides have a bye except Valley, so it doesn't really matter, on the same keel. And they have a good run, don't you reckon?
They have a great run coming home, and if they're going to be up there and make the four, that's what they've got to do. They've got to put these sides away on their run home into the semis.
I think, Brendan, if Warwick do go well right through that, then they're going to be primed because they were very good in the semis last year.
Yeah, no, they're a good, strong club as well. They've got 2 home games there, so that should be enough to get them up into that top 3 or 4. So.
And apart from Dalby's game against Valleys this weekend, they've got a bye, Gundy, Highfields and South. They're at home, home and then away. They've got a pretty good run into the finals as well.
They do, yeah, definitely. It'll be a nice run for them as well, definitely. Dalby this weekend, I think that's their big test now. If they can get a win this weekend, they should be nearly assured. If they lose this weekend, then they're going to have to win a couple of those other games. But their last game with South too, it could be a big one as well.
Exactly right. And I spoke to Steve Franciscus through the week, Gary. Dylan Taylor has done his hamstring. We thought it might have been his ankle, but he's definitely out this weekend. He'll have a bye, so he should be okay come the finals.
Well, you can,
and it'll be very important for them.
Very, very important for them to getting back on the park with the other injuries they've got at the club.
That's right. Now, Gundawindi, look at their run. It's fairly tough. They got a bye, which means they don't get 2 points this weekend. Then they play Warwick at home, Dalby at home, 2 home games in a row. I think we are doing the actual Warwick game out there, I'm not sure. And then they've got Brothers away, still a tough one at Brothers. And then they've got Wattles away, so they've got a real tough draw coming in.
Yeah, they've got
probably the toughest of the whole lot.
3 hard games there. They'll have to probably win one of those 3 games, I reckon. Brothers, they'll aim for that as a win, but they'll have to beat either Warwick, Dalby or Wattles, one of those teams as well, I reckon.
And Brendan, with Gundawindi, they've got the X factor there. Well, there'll be a chance in those, but gee, I'll tell you what, they'll be probably pretty broken come the finals.
Yeah.
Not being in finals the last few years.
Yeah, no, it's
a tough ask for them.
It is. It's a tough ask. Looking at that draw that they've got coming ahead, like Brothers are definitely no, easy games there at all. But Stumpy's done a great job there at Brothers to get them up this year.
Gary?
Yeah, look, I think they have the possibility to win 3 out of those 4 games, so they'll need to bank on the 2 home games. And it's nothing worse to travel to Gundawindi. So Dalby and Warwick will have to travel out there. So, they'll have to bank on winning those games and possibly pick up Brothers away.
And look at South's draw coming into it. They've got the best thing. They've got 4 home games, but they play Wattles, Valleys, Gatton, Bye and Dalby, all at home. And I tell you what, those young Tigers, I know they are fearless, but that is one incredible draw coming in the finals.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough three of the top teams here. Wattles and Valleys week in week, and then Gatton on the back of that too.
One thing for sure, Gary. Sorry, Beth?
But yeah, I think South, they'll test themselves this weekend, and it'll give them a good gauge of where they are as well. So
I think for sure they'll be very match fit, won't they, Gary?
Yeah, look, if they're going to make the finals, they're going to have to beat 2 or 3 of these sides to get through. They've been great improvers, as it has Brothers, and it's great to see those sides improving. And yeah, look, they've got to win those 2 or 3 of those games.
And Brendan, with the Mustangs, which I know South probably are the club that had the most Mustangs, what round, or are they eligible to come back?
They've got to play. I think they brought in a rule that the Toowoomba Rugby League, a local ruling, where they need to play
3 games?
4 games, I think.
In the last round?
Yeah. Or 4 games overall through the whole season to be eligible for the finals. So.
And when do the season finish for under 20s?
It might only be about 2 weeks.
About 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. So I think there's still about 5 games left for the.
So they may only be available maybe only for the Dalby game, given that the bye there as well, because Mustangs don't really want to keep a roll going on the way they're showing their form at the
definitely.
moment.
We want to keep those guys playing at that higher level as well. So.
And Gatton, they've got Highfields this weekend. Should be a ripper of a game. Then a bye. South, winnable games, but 2 toughies at the end there, Warwick and Valleys.
Yeah, they'll be looking to win 3 of them and finish on 16, I reckon. If they can get it 16, they might be pushing for that 5th place still. And then if they get in the semis, Gatton, anything can happen.
Well, they've only got their last home game this weekend, Gary, so a tough ask for them when they've got those 3 away games to finish the year.
Yeah, it is. Having 3 away games, they should be, the Fortress should be good for them at home, and Highfields at home, they should get away with that. But it's going to be a tough ask going away against South, Warwick and Valleys at away.
Yeah, well, Brothers really showed their wares against Valleys. They've got 3 home games and an away game against Highfields. So they've got Pittsworth at home, a bye, Highfields away, Gundawindi at home and Warwick. They're all winnable games, Murph.
Yeah, definitely, Brothers. They'll be looking to win all their games to finish with, I think, and they're capable of doing it as well if they turn up properly.
So if they win all 16, and what is 14 is the top 5 as we speak. So there's still 5 games there. So
16 points or higher.
Well, you would think that probably
18.
Midweek playoff, maybe.
Yeah, what happens if a few of them finish on 16?
Midweek playoff.
Then we have another beer through the week, mate. That's what I like about Brendan.
Extra tickets. Extra ticket sales.
Okay, so that's the wrap coming for the thing. We'll have another look in a couple of weeks' time there, but it's interesting to see as they all go. But it's certainly unfolding, this 100-year competition for the Toowoomba Rugby League competition. And as we go to a break, let's have a look at an interview with Michael Broomfield, who had young Sonny on his hip again. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show. Andrew Byron reporting for QRL, TRL Media, and we are here with the Hutchies Player of the Round and also the League Group Electrical Player of the Match, Sonny Bloomfield. How are you, Sonny?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, gee, you had a blinder last couple of weeks, and look, an important win, mate, and you got into the grind. You were behind the 8 ball, especially in that parts of that second half, but you got the biscuits in the end.
Yeah, no, we knew if we just went back to the simple things, done the simple things right, we could get away with it, but it was a very, very tough game. So proud of the boys for hanging in there and coming home with the win.
Yeah, look, Sammy Bromhill got that opportunist try, and that sort of turned it a little bit, but Dalby threw everything at you. A lot of injuries on both sides. It was a more ferocious out there than what we saw.
Yeah, no, it was very, very physical out there. We knew it was going to be physical.
Yep.
We got no serious injuries, so it's all good.
Yeah, I went in there to give you this, mate. You said Craig Dom was your best today. But look, he did play very, very well. But we did think that you were in the right place, right time in your defence, and you really calmed, let me say, those players who took the wrong options down. Is that right?
Yeah. No, me and Gruey, we've had a chat, and I've just got to keep the boys calm out there, and we know if I've got a calm head, all the boys will have a calm head.
Yeah, it was a really good game, a real gritty win for you today. You're in outright third now, so it was so important. We'll look back on this with the rounds to come.
Yeah, we knew that this is a win that we had to get to jump Dalby and back in the winner's circle, which is really good, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Good on you, mate. And enjoy the rest of this victory, mate. We'll see you in the next few weeks.
Righto, thanks, Davey.
Well done, mate.
Up next, we preview round 14 of the Toowoomba Rugby League. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchison Builders, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia as the TRL celebrates 100 years.
Crazy Kevin on the radio.
Jamming as much variety into your day as possible.
powerfmradio.com.au.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Welcome back to the TRL Footy Show, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. Here's Obie in the panel.
And he's becoming an absolute viral young Sonny Bloomfield. Welcome back to the TRL Footy Show. We love having the kids on the interviews and into the round 14 preview. And on Saturday, it is the Obie and Cookie Call, the Toowoomba Sports Club match of the day, and the Power TV delayed telecast right here on Power TV. It'll be on 7 o'clock on Monday on powertvaustralia.com.au. No, not without the AU, just powertvaustralia.com. And everyone's like, you'll see the link through Toowoomba Rugby League Facebook there as well. South and Wattles. How do you see this one going, Murph?
Yeah, I think Wattles have maybe got a few injuries, so they'll be hurting a little bit. They've had a tough run last few weeks. They've defended well, obviously, but South will be up for this game, I think, as well. So they've got some young players, and I know that they're keen to test themselves against the best players as well. So I think it'll be a cracking game.
Are you tipping?
I reckon I can't go past Wattles if Matty Duggan's playing, but if he's not playing, I think South can really push them and maybe get an upset in this game.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, Murph. Right? He's either not or you're not. You need to put a tip in right now.
Well, Ethan Herney told me that South would win this weekend, so...
You're going for South?
Go for South. He didn't really tell me that.
Okay, look in there and say, I'm going for South.
I'll go for South this weekend.
And Brendan?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good game. Wattles really impressed me in that final a couple of weeks ago. They're very physical, and it'll be a good test for the young Tiger side to go up against that really physical side. So, but I'll go with the heart, back the Tigers.
Yeah, he's been paid a few. Yeah, joking. But Gary Alliance, we've seen both these sides. For me, just Wattles' defence is really, really good. I think the young fellas are good big men, will always beat a good little man. Not that saying that South don't have good big men as well, but just too much for Wattles. I think it'll be close with about 20 minutes to go, and I think Wattles will draw away from it.
Yeah, look, I think it will be a close game. I think that first 60 minutes will be backwards and forwards, and the young ones will be wanting to move it out wide with South. And look, I think, South will take it to them, but at the end, I think the last 15 minutes will tell on the young side. And you can't expect a side this young to be up in first grade in the Toowoomba Rugby League competition every week. And they've been up for a long time. They've got to go back sometime and come back to earth. And we'll see what character they've got when they do lose their next game, how they come back to game after.
Yeah, well, I thought they showed plenty of character last week against Brothers. It was a big game and they stood up. Their defensive line was really, really good. I do think Matty Duggan will play, and the reason is I think he just loves playing footy, and he'll play and give himself every chance to do that, Murph, don't you reckon?
Definitely. What about the clash of the front rows, Whittaker and Perko too? That'll be a good clash too, won't it? So they'll be both going for each other as well, I think.
And the Wild thing is going really, really well. I'd like, put a sing out to Mitchy Duff. Going well, mate, but come on, really get into it this week, mate, as we know you can, Duffy. And then out to the Trevor Mickleborough Oval on Saturday at 6:30. Oakey versus Warwick. You think nothing but a Warwick win here, Murph?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Oakey after last week, but they're playing at home this week. They've got to play with a bit of pride and respect for themselves and their club and hopefully turn up, but I think Warwick will be a bit too strong for them in this game.
Yeah, Brendan, the Warwick faithful, they are there. Their crowds have been very, very good. It's just up to the players really to turn up, because they have been very competitive through the year, haven't they?
Yeah, no. Oakey, you mean?
Oakey, yes.
Yep. No, they've been competitive. So the last few weeks it seemed to have fallen back a bit, but hopefully they'll show up and have a real good dig this week and put it to Warwick. But I think you'd have to take Warwick this weekend.
Yeah, for and against points are going to be very important coming into the finals, Gary. So you think Warwick will come to play, and I do think that, as I said, Harry Sullivan, I think, is their answer for halfback.
Yeah, look, I think they will come to play. They will need to get the 2 points. They can't let this side on a Saturday night out of Trevor Mickleborough Oval get on top of them early, because they will be hard to contain. But yeah, Warwick will be too strong, but I just hope that they don't worry about trying to score 100 points, and they just worry about doing the basics, and the points will come.
That's right. I don't think they'll score as many as what Gundy scored against them last week, because it is at home, and when teams get done by so much, they really step up that next week. Now, Brothers are playing Pittsworth at Glenholme Park at 6:30. This will be a ripper of a game. I think Brosnan's not there this week, but they've got Daniel York back. Jordan O'Shea comes in for Mick Markey at halfback, because Mick Markey got injured last week, and I think it's going to be a ripper of a game. Pittsworth building for next year, you think?
Yeah, definitely. Pittsworth have been building all season, and they competed on the weekend against Gatton, and Brothers competed against South too, so it will be a good game, but I think Brothers will get up at home this week.
That's right. What do you think?
I think Brothers at home should be a good bet this weekend for them, for sure.
Gary?
Yeah, Brothers at home I think will be just too strong. I spoke to Phil Economidis this afternoon, and he's looking forward to the challenge. He's challenged his players this week to step up and do the basics right, and they feel that they'll be in the game.
How about these two teams and the quality of coaches both teams have got as well? How good's that for our comp as well?
I think it's going to be a really game of chess. I actually am going to for Pittsworth. I really enjoyed their game last week. I thought they really came to play. They were in front with about 10 minutes to go, whereas Brothers have been pretty bashed the last couple of weeks. Again, a young side for Brothers. I know it's going to be really, really competitive there as well, and get down to Brothers. I tell you what, Brothers will go well if the Delhi Fay Hill is as big as it was last game, because that was just simply amazing on their centenary weekend. Don't you reckon, Murph?
Yeah, definitely. They get good support behind him when that hills are full, and it is good.
Were you up
isn't
there?
it? No, I was away that weekend.
How about you, Brendan? Were you there?
No, I wasn't there that day, no.
Oh, yeah, but if you would have made a mess of yourself if you were there, is that right?
I'd say so, yeah.
No, you wouldn't have, mate. No, we're all well behaved here. And then, of course, the Battle of the Birds on Sunday, 2:30. The last home game for Gatton against Highfields. These matches are absolute pearls. I think there's been a struck match between these two every time they played the last few seasons, Murph.
Yeah, definitely. I know Highfields have been hurting their position on the ladder. They're coming last, and they've struggled to get wins this year, but they do have a good side on paper still, and this game they'll turn up there ready. Gus will have them prepared. Obviously, he prepares them well, but I think Gatton last home game, and I think Gatton have a little bit more to play for, so I think they'll get the win at home.
Brendan?
Yeah, and I think Gatton will get the win at home as well. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure what's happening at Highfields. They've got quality players across the field, but just hasn't fallen their way this year, which can happen sometimes. But with Hayden Lip steering Gatton around, I'm sure they'll get the points.
Yeah, it's all about ball control for me. For Gatton, Gary, Gatton were quite impressive the last couple of weeks, and they've just started to find their mojo. Young Tyson White in at hooker, replacing Tyrell McCulloch, who's a week-by-week prospect with his shoulder, should go well. But I heard on the grapevine that Highfields really got their wrestle back in the ruck last week.
Yeah, look, they'll be hard to beat, Highfields, but I think at home Gatton will be too strong. Is Jared Lee in this week? I just didn't see the program.
I think he is, yes.
Okay, well, you know, with Jared steering the side around and Gus preparing that side, they'll be competitive, but at home, at Gatton's home ground, 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon, I think they'll get the chocolates very narrowly.
Anyway, one of the key matches I've said coming into the finals, the Hutchies match of the round on Sunday. We'll be there for the Obi and Cookie Call on Para FM. Dalby versus Valleys should be an absolute ripper, Murph.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a good game. I think it's Valley's first game back after the bye, so they'll be out to finish this round well and try and stay at the top of the table, reclaim that title. So.
And you're backing Valleys, eh?
Yeah, I'll back Valleys at Dalby.
That's good to see your neck out today, Murph. What about you, Brendan?
No, I think I'll pack Dalby at home out there. I know Derek will have them up for the challenge of playing the top of the table side there. So yeah, I think Dalby will get the money out there.
Darren?
Yeah, Valleys will be too strong.
Do you have to be so brutal?
Well, I just think the injuries that they've had, and they're a great side with Xavier Manley and Amara and those sort of guys going forward for them. But, you know, Josh Chappell can't do everything. And
yes, he can.
No, he can't. But he's a great player, and I'd love him in any side I was coaching.
So Jerome Burns coming back to Valleys, he's going to add another dimension for them. Yeah. He'll really give them a X factor there with his brother.
Well, Dalby didn't have Alex Ambier, and he is back this week, and I think they really missed him last week against Warwick. I think he's going to really galvanise them. They will lose Dylan Taylor with his kicking game. Hopefully Josh Chappell can sit up. You'd think they'd put Blake Mara into 5'8" there as well, and that man Stevie Franciscus, he's going very well. I'd like to see the forward pack from Dalby just step up a little bit more. They're all good individual players, but hunting as a pack will get them a long way. But still Valleys for me. I think they've just got too much right across the park. They will miss Callum Hart there as well. They've got plenty of pace, and it's going to be an absolute ripper. We go to air at 1:30, Murph.
Yeah, no, that'll be a good game, and game Derby, they'll want to be up for it too, to test themselves as well, coming back from a loss to Warwick last week. So, and I know Beaver Manley's probably been one of the best front rowers going around this year as well, and he'll really take it to the Valleys pack, so the Valleys pack will also have to step up, I reckon, as well.
Sure will. Okay, well, that's the wrap from the round 14 preview. Let's go to a break. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
G'day everybody, Sean Lees here from Hutchinson Builders for a week of Sean's selections. Actually down here at beautiful Yamba for the week with my wife and daughter. Enjoying myself, going crazy on the fishing. Got onto a couple of kingies on Monday, which was fantastic. Still trying to get over the defeat last night of the Origin. Couldn't believe it. Couple of clinch moments. I thought we had it. Anyway, not to be. So getting to the footy. So we've got Dalby versus Valleys at Dalby. I think Valleys are going to be too strong. Dalby always tough at home, but I think Valleys are playing really well, and I think they're going to take it out. Righty guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Up next, we preview round 14 of the Toowoomba Rugby League. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM and Hutchison Builders, live from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia as the TRL celebrates 100 years.
Hutchies lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Life Flight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge, and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchies is proud to back the people who support the region.
Oz Hosting is proud to support Switched On IT in bringing practical help to Australian businesses. We're talking to literally hundreds of businesses every day about their IT services, how to make them more efficient, how to make their businesses more efficient, and how to protect their valuable data. If you'd like your IT services securely hosted right here in Australia and expertly managed, talk to Oz Hosting.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show live from the Toowoomba Sports Club. Now it's back to Obi.
Yeah, welcome back to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, sponsored by Hutchins Builders on Power TV and also sponsored by Power FM. And this is a wrap. I'm just going to ask the panel which game they're looking forward to the most this weekend. Over to you, Gary.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to the South Wattles game. I think these young players that South have got there, it's just stepping up every week, and they do a great job. And I'm looking forward to see how they go against some senior players and then how they react to the senior side of Wattles against the younger side.
Beth?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Valleys and Dalby game at Dalby on Sunday. I think that'll be a good game, and I think they'll both test each other.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Mustangs taking on the Sunny Coast Falcons down there. So hopefully the boys can back it up and come away with another win, or we'll get close to them as well. So compete really hard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game as well because they were absolutely fantastic last weekend. I'm also looking forward to the Dalby Valleys game with the Iceman himself, Kerry Carmichael, going to be out there. Just a final before we go, thank you very much for Gatton and Warwick for looking after us at the Obi and Cookie Corn Power TV and Power FM over the weekend. We really appreciate your hospitality there. Thanks for joining us, Murph.
No worries, always a pleasure.
Really appreciate you coming on, Brandon.
No dramas, it's been good.
That's good. And over to the Super Coach, mate. We'll speak to you over the weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much, and look forward to the Rugby League this weekend.
Well, we'll see you all next week. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
This has been another edition of the TRL Footy Show. Thanks to our sponsors, Power FM, Hutchison Builders and Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West. If you'd like to advertise on Power TV or Power FM, you can contact us by phone or email. The details are on the screen. This has been a Power TV Australia production in conjunction with Power FM. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and also remember to download the Power TV Australia app from the Apple and Google Play stores.
Hutchies lives here. We're locals, just like you. To us, construction is really about people, not just bricks and concrete. It's people who bring our structures to life and build communities. We stick by the people who make communities. From Toowoomba Rugby League to RACQ Lifelight Rescue Service, Milne Bay Military Challenge, and the Toowoomba Tennis International, Hutchies is proud to back the people who support the region.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time, with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Morning, good morning, love to see the sunrise. Morning, good morning, love to see the sunrise. Crazy Kevin on the radio. Driver's seat, ooh, driver's seat, yeah. Yeah. Everybody's working for the weekend.
Jamming as much variety into your day as possible.
PowerFMradio.com.au